Kick off fall and kick off happy.
Sorry, Magician's Code.
Armchair Quarterbacks Radio covers the whole SEC the whole season long.
Chris Davis is going to drop back into the end zone in single safety. So I guess if this thing comes up short, he can field it and run it out. All right, here we go. 56-yarder. Does not have the leg. And Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl.
Armchair.
SEC!
You are so going to end up in porno.
It's important to remember the value of taking time for ourselves to do the things that help us grow and explore, like learning something new. And now with the Great Courses Plus, it's never been easier to experience the joys of learning. The Great Courses Plus offers thousands of streaming videos that cover hundreds of fascinating topics, from World War II to choosing the perfect wine. You can even take a course on the U.S. government or dealing with stress and anxiety. And because the Great Courses Plus partners with world-class professors and experts, you're always receiving thoroughly vetted, high-quality content from every lecture. Plus, you can watch or listen anytime, anywhere with the Great Courses Plus app. So take a little time for you. Sign up for the Great Courses Plus today for a free month of unlimited access. Visit thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio to get started. That's thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays. Drive time? Find the Armchair Quarterback Show on Facebook today.
Stop the world and let me on.
Make sure to listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Drive time. The Armchair Quarterbacks, good enough for us down here in the bayou. Go Tigers and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Wake up, y'all. It's time to get up with the Armchair Quarterbacks. The world of sports is changing every morning, so get up with the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show.
Time to get up out of bed.
Smoking, that's another one. Try to stop smoking. That's a beauty, huh? Well, with cigarettes, my wife and I, we made a deal, my wife and I. We only smoke after sex. I got the same pack now since 1975. What bothers me is my wife. She's up to 3 packs a day. I tell you the truth, my wife and I, we never have sex. Now, we get undressed, we can't stop laughing, you know? But I'll tell you what, when my wife does have sex, she screams. Oh, especially when I walk in on her.
Yeah, to the ball game. Take me out to the ground.
Good morning. Welcome to the neighborhood play with Christian. Normally, Joey, he's having some technical difficulties because he's in Wisconsin. And if one thing we know about Wisconsin, they always have technical difficulties. Christian, how the hell are you this morning, sir?
I'm doing well, Mac. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right, man. I've been watching a lot of White Sox baseball. We're going to dive into that today. We'll touch on the Cubs. Got a couple of things that I do want to hit on about the Cubs, including the Cubs-Cardinals series, which the Cubs took the first one yesterday. And just looked like an incredible scene there in Chicago as the fans are going crazy. I love the afternoon games on Friday, and I especially love it when it's Cubs Cardinals. There's just something magical about that. And did you get a chance to watch any of that game?
I did. It was a pretty contested game throughout most of it until the later innings.
Bullpen blew it. Is what happened. You know?
Yeah.
God.
Unfortunately, that's not their first rodeo.
What's that?
I said, unfortunately, that's not the first rodeo for the Cardinals. Blowing games, haven't been playing too good of late.
Oh, it's been an absolute disaster. That bullpen, they actually got a good start, which is rare because I went into this yesterday on our weekday show about how the fact that if you're looking at Cubs Cardinals and you're expecting to, by the way, I banged the over pretty easily in that game. But if you're if you're looking at this game and you're expecting like a pitcher's duel, Oviedo has just been average at very best. I mean, honestly, he's below average. He's got a 5.72 ERA. Stewart got hammered too. I was expecting a high scoring game. That's exactly what we got. But the Cardinals brought their bullpen comes in and they hold the line. Kimbrel slams the door. He might be the best closer in baseball again. It's like I don't know where you got the fountain of youth, or I'm going to attribute it to his hair. He's Samson. But man, the freaking bullpen of the Cardinals just got absolutely destroyed. They couldn't figure out anything. They've got a good closer in Reyes, but that's it. They've got to get to him, and they can't get to him. And today, the Cardinals and Cubs, pretty sure I'm double checking it right now, but I'm pretty darn sure that that's a 7 o'clock Fox game. That's usually how they do it when they have Cubs Cardinals. It's usually, I know it's a Sunday night game for sure. And let me see, Cubs Cardinals. Having a hard time finding it. I don't know where the hell it is, but anyways, here we go. Yes, 7:15 Eastern, 6:15 Central on Fox. So that'll be the Fox game of the week. Meanwhile, the boys from the South Side, Chicago White Sox, they went into Detroit yesterday, won 5-4. I'm sure you caught that game, right?
I did. I was a little nervous with a 50-minute rain delay in the bottom of the ninth. Didn't quite understand why they didn't just call that game, but nevertheless, they still squeaked away with the win, so I'll take it.
I think that comes down to the fact that Detroit was the home team.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? I mean, if they're not the home team, that game probably gets called. And they did, and to their credit, they did force extra innings, but you've got basically in Chicago, or Liam Hendricks blows a save. Are you concerned about that, or is it just a bump in the road to you?
For me, and as from what I understand from Hendricks, that was his first multi-run lead blown save this year. So to me, that's the anomaly right there. I think in his last 12 save appearances, he's converted all 12 of them. So if that's the one outlier, I'm pretty okay with that.
Looking at today, the Sox go back at the Tigers again, and Urena's coming off the IL. Sean, who's a Detroit fan who does the show at 10 a.m., the fantasy baseball show we do called The Payoff Pitch, he was basically thinking that he's going to get blown up because it's warm in Detroit, and he's not a believer in him. Now, I'm pretty familiar with Urena. He's with the Marlins for years, and he can pitch some gems. But what are you expecting today for the White Sox? Dylan Cease is on the mound, by the way, for the Sox. So I think they're in pretty good shape. I'd be shocked if they lost today. But what are you expecting as far as the offensive put out today?
I haven't seen the lineup come out yet. I think it's a little too early for that. But the way that La Russa has been shaking up the lineup the past couple of days with the ongoing, ever-developing injury status for the White Sox, I'm hoping that we can maybe see Yasmani back in the lineup. He had a day off yesterday. I heard he might potentially have another day off, but I really feel like every time he starts to find himself at the plate, he gets a day off, which I get. Catchers deserve their respective days off. But other than that, it'd be interesting to see who fills the second base position moving forward. I know that's a topic we had lined up to discuss here later today, but it's going to be interesting to see who fills that spot for sure.
Well, let's go ahead and dive into that. What's your take on that with the injury? Man, I swear they're getting hit with the injury bug bad this year. What's your take as far as who do you think the second base answer is going to be? And are they even expecting him back this year?
So to answer the last question, that's really kind of up in the air. At the moment, they haven't ruled out surgery, although they said that's on the table for Nick to decide ultimately. When you hear that kind of news, it's kind of troubling. When surgery is ever on the table, you have to know that you're talking an extended period of absence from the diamond. So really, would I like to see him back this year? Oh, absolutely. Do I think it's realistic? I don't know. Hamstrings are really tough injuries to come back from as it is, let alone that he tore 2 of the 3 vital parts of your hamstring that keep it tied to your femur. So it's not a good look for him. My ultimate answer, I don't think he'll be back this year. As for who I think will be filling in for him, so far it's looking like a tandem of Danny Mendick and Leury Garcia, a couple of quad A guys from the White Sox. But for what it's worth, Leury Garcia is batting .341 with 19 ribbies against left-handed pitchers with runners in scoring position. So you have to expect him to get more tick against lefties, whereas conversely against right-handed batters, I expect to see more of Danny Mendick. He's batting .200 on the year. It's not pretty, but he was a Gold Glove finalist in 2020. So in that regard, defensively, he'll play good ball. And last night, actually, to end that game, he made the game-saving out. Some White Sox fans are pretty contentious. They feel that if that was Madrigal in the field, perhaps that ball wouldn't have gotten knocked down and could have cost them the game. But luckily, Danny Mendick was there to make the play. So moving forward, feel pretty confident between the two of them. I'd like to see more of a long-term answer instead of just platooning the position. But for the moment,
I'll tell you one of the guys that I have on my radar, because he's played outfield. He's also played second base, and there has been talks about trading, because let's be honest, the Pittsburgh Pirates are just not going anywhere, right? And
yeah.
So Adam Frazier is a name that pops up. He's a solid defensive player that you can put at second base, and he is a guy that gets on base regularly. Okay, he's a guy. He doesn't have a lot of pop, but he finds a way to get on. He's a great base runner. He's a solid glove. I think he would be a hell of a get and a need for the White Sox. Get Adam Frazier from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, what they're going to want for him, that's always the question, right? But there's no way that the White Sox aren't kicking the tires on Frazier right now.
So what I've been reading so far is that although the White Sox are heavily interested in Adam Frazier, so too have the Yankees, taken a little shine in their eye to him. But from that standpoint, who don't the Yankees look to improve their roster every year, right?
What are they going to do? They're going to bench DJ LeMahieu? I mean, what are we talking about here, right? I mean, I guess they could put LeMahieu over at third. The way people are allowed to shift nowadays, I guess there's not much of a difference because they're all just standing over in the corner waiting for a ball to get hit to them. But I think the Yankees have a lot bigger needs, and they don't have the best farm system, so they're only going to be able to make 1 or 2 major moves. And I don't know if second base is the main move for the Yankees. I get it why it would help them, because Adam Frazier, I believe, I know he bats lefty. He might even be a switch hitter, but I know he bats lefty. But I guess my point with the Yankees is they have such he does bat lefty, just lefty. They've got so many needs. I just don't know if you can focus on getting a second baseman when you got James Tyon about to get he's going to get obliterated today in Philly. They've got pitching needs. So I think, especially the strike while the iron's kind of cool, don't wait till the trading deadline. If I'm the White Sox, I'm jumping on them now. I'm jumping all in, and I'm saying, hey, let's get our guy. What's the point of letting him kick around with the Pirates? costing us. I mean, what are we? This is June 12th, right? So we are essentially 5 to 6 weeks away from the trading deadline. Why do I want to wait 5 to 6 weeks when I can put a second baseman in there right now? They are, the White Sox have a 4.5 game lead. I know they get, so that gives them some cushion, but you get Adam Frazier, you might be able to run away with the division.
I think you're in line with how I'm thinking here, and going back to you mentioned how Adam Frazier isn't known for his big pop off the bat, but neither was Nick Madrigal. Just a consistent 300 hitter in his last 20 games. The kid was really finding it. He was batting 366, leading the team with 61 hits. So certainly they're looking for somebody who's just going to get on base and be a smart base runner, but more importantly, just making contact with the ball and getting on. And to me, that's Adam Frazier to a T. In his last 12, he's batting 333 on the dot. I mean, his versatility in the field provides even greater depth for La Russa and company, being able to move him around wherever need be. And then on top of that, he's locked up through 2023 right now. So, it wouldn't just be a short-term rental like perhaps you would see from like a Starling Marte, because his name has been thrown around quite a bit for the White Sox as well. But I like Adam Frazier. I really hope that they go out and make a contentious effort to get him. It's just at this point, when you're building a franchise like this.
Why does your camera keep moving? What is going on with that? Are you in a swing or something?
I'm on my phone right now. My internet actually had a fence put up and it was chopped. Okay. My internet line was chopped. I'm sorry about that.
It's making me seasick. What am I looking at? At first, a couple of times, I thought you were just adjusting it. And I'm like, it's like we're doing this over the whole time.
It's an emotional debate over the White Sox today. Let me tell you.
Okay, I didn't know if there was. Is there not something you can lean the phone against or something?
I'll tell you what. I'll do that for you, so we're not all over the place here.
I just don't want people throwing up their Saturday morning breakfast because. What's going on here?
I hear you.
But look, back to the Adam Frazier thing. I mean, this guy's hitting 328 this year. Now, look, I get it that he's a lifetime 280 hitter, but that's not chopped liver itself, not in today's game. And the fact he gives you a little bit of speed. He does have 3 stolen bases this year. He has an okay sluggo of 467. That's not great, but it's not bad for a second baseman. And then I love his OPS. His OPS is 856. It means the guy is getting on base and he's producing. So I would be all in on Adam Frazier. And as the guy who owns him on a fantasy baseball team, I'd much rather him playing for the White Sox than the Pirates.
I would rather have him in a powerful packed lineup for the White Sox too.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on from that. So Engel, what are your thoughts on him?
Well, considering that he sat out the entire first couple months of the year, I think it's been nothing short of spectacular to have him back in the lineup. Defensively, his WAR is not outstanding, but defensively for the White Sox, he's a phenomenal center fielder. In fact, in his first game back, he robbed a home run. So just a testament to his ability in the outfield. And right now,
that's the kind of stuff that WAR doesn't really calculate. And that's why I'm always like, WAR is flawed because in all these stats are flawed, because if you're not watching the games and you don't see things like that, there are some really obscure stats that baseball has come up with that kind of puts that in perspective, but I don't think it realistically does, right? Because they'll try to tell you that someone like before he got arrested, that Ozuna had this big WAR, and he hit like a machine. That guy was also a defensive liability, and they don't, and so they only look at if a guy's committing errors. They're not thinking about the guy didn't get to a ball that a basic left fielder would get to, right? And so when you're talking about a center fielder, I'm more concerned that my center fielder can make defensive plays than I'm worried about any of his hitting prowess.
Absolutely. And I feel a lot more confident with Adam Engel in center field rather than Billy Hamilton, who is not known for his arm. Leary Garcia, who's a hyper man.
No bat. All he is he's a road runner. That's all he is.
Exactly. So having Engel back in the lineup is very much so a sense of comfortability. And I think with the White Sox right now, the momentum that they have right now is just ride whoever's hot and ride that energy. And Adam Engel has definitely provided a great boost of morale in that regard. So I like where he's at. In post-game interview after his first game back, he made it very simple. We're based off a 40-man roster here, and it's every man who can provide to the team. And he's done exactly that with back-to-back home runs in his previous 2 games. So I like the trajectory he's headed on right now and feel great about having him back in the lineup.
Is it fair to say that now that you've won the first game in Detroit, okay, and you've got Dylan Cease on the mound tonight, and you've got Carlos Rodon on the mound tomorrow, that anything short of a sweep is going to be disappointing considering that they're playing the Tigers?
I think I saw our record against the Tigers in like the last 35 games. It's like 29-6. So anything short of a sweep is just, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to sweep them, especially considering that their next 7 games are going to be pretty challenging, coming home to Tampa Bay and then traveling to Houston to play the Astros. It's imperative that they beat up on the Tigers as best as they can, because I'll tell you what, Tampa Bay is no walk in the park, as you know.
Right. And as far as I can see, I'm going to double check on a secondary site that sometimes has it updated. The Tigers have not announced a starter for tomorrow. So that normally smells in today's game, that's going to be a bullpen game.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're going to try to bring some rook up and see if he can. And I don't think you want to do that to a rookie. Yeah, they have yet to declare a starter in Detroit. I would do bullpen game if I'm Detroit before I brought some kid up and say, good luck against that.
Yeah,
man. No way. You're going to destroy some kid's confidence. Moving on from that, White Sox full capacity, June 25th. What say you?
Yes, sir. So I spoke with my season ticket rep.
USA.
Yes, sir. I mean, I was very jealous of seeing the Cubs opening day of round 2, as they called it, against the Cardinals, because Wrigley was absolutely packed. And if you've ever been to Wrigleyville, when that stadium is jumping, it's just a great energy there. And, the White Sox haven't had an opportunity to pack the house in over a year. And with the way the team is playing right now, playing against Seattle might feel like the first round of the playoffs, honestly, just because I know the stadium is just going to be absolutely rocking.
Yeah, you were talking about the White Sox schedule. I don't understand why they couldn't put 100% capacity in the stands on the 8th. I'm sorry. On the 14th, excuse me. Tomorrow, Monday, almost said tomorrow. Monday, they're at home against the Rays. I don't understand why they're not putting them in 100% of the fan. If the Cubs can do it in the same city, why aren't the White Sox having 100% capacity against the Rays, which is a really good draw? I mean, you're talking about Tampa versus Chicago, 2 division leaders on a Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday afternoon. That might motivate some fans to get out of their house, right? Do you have any idea why they're punting it all the way to the 25th, which is a home series against Seattle? They're going to be at home against Tampa for 3 games starting Monday, and then they're going to be on the road until the 25th. Do you have any idea why they're doing that?
My only guess is that, in all, a weekend game, a Friday night is definitely going to draw more of a crowd than a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even though they are playing an elite team in Tampa. I think I would have liked to see the stadium packed, because the White Sox at home this year have just been ridiculous. 25-11 at home, best win percentage in the AL. Whereas conversely, the Rays actually have the best road percentage in the American League. So
yes, that helps you. I find it I find it a head scratcher that they didn't start on the 14th.
I agree.
The thing is, you're going to get a good crowd on the 25th, 26th. It's a weekend, right? But you could really rock the South Side with Tampa Bay versus Chicago. I mean, it's a huge series.
I definitely agree with you. And like I said, the only reason I can really logically think of is that
then with Lightfoot, does this and with Lightfoot, did she? But if they're allowing it in the north side, why can't they allow it in the? I don't get it. It's got to be something in the organization,
right?
Where either they didn't get their act together and they needed certain T's crossed and I's dotted. I don't know. It's interesting.
I will say this though, that series that they open up against Seattle, they'll at least be home for those 3 games, and then they play Minnesota at home as well. So maybe it has something to do with keeping the stadium open and being home for like almost an entire week, as opposed to playing Tampa and then leaving town for the weekend. I don't know. Logically though, I would have loved to see the stadium packed against Tampa.
Yeah, it's just weird. We give people something to go do in the summer. I don't know exactly what the Chicago school system is doing, but I'm assuming they're either out of school or damn near out of school.
Oh yeah.
You give them something to do in the summer, and it's an evening game. 2 of them are evening games too. So you're talking about you're not going to be sweating bullets out there. It's weird, but anyways, we'll move on from that. But yeah, they really big stretch to your point earlier. 3 against the Rays, then at Houston for 4. Then they'll have a day off and they'll go to Pittsburgh so they can pick up Adam Frazier, put him on the bus, and then they'll come home and play the Mariners and the Twins. So they've got a chance to right the ship if they have any rough waters against Tampa and Houston, because you are going to get 5 games against the Pirates and the Mariners. But then the Twins come a calling, and even though the Twins have played terribly, they still have that talent.
Absolutely.
And Maeda might be back by then. I would think he probably would be. They've just I got lucky on that one. I basically, beginning of the season, we were doing our previews, and I said that I thought Minnesota would be 4th at best, if not dead last. And I was saying it and believing it, but at the same token, there's a part of me goes, "What the hell are you doing? You're picking the Twins under all, under the Royals and whatnot." But I had a feeling that they were a paper tiger, and they're definitely showing it. I think the White Sox are good, but when we get past the All-Star break, I think the White Sox are going to be cruising, getting ready for October by the time we hit mid-August, because the Indians are not going to stick together. They're probably going to be sellers as opposed to buyers. And Kansas City will not destroy their farm system to chase after a wild card. So they're going to be a decent team. They're going to be a pain in the ass all year long. But Kansas City, they're not the Yankees. They're not the Red Sox. They don't go, screw it, we'll buy us a championship, right? They're going to be very conservative with it because they have to be, because they're more like Tampa, where they don't have the money coming in. So I really think this is I can say it's a 2-team race. It's really a 1-team race. As long as the White Sox don't fall apart, they're going to win this division going away.
Which is a tough line to say, because falling apart, it seems like
right
somebody's going down, and
the whole time as they're lapping the field, I can hear Tony La Russa telling the whole world, "Suck it," right? Because he's like, dude, y'all were all on me, ready to kill me at the beginning of the season, and I'm going to take this team to the playoffs. And then what?
I mean, that's just a testament to La Russa's coaching capabilities right there. But
he's a badass. I don't care what anyone says. The dude has always been a great coach, and I think he's just going to forget it because he went over the age of 70. I mean, whatever.
That, and a lot of White Sox fans like to drag him for his DUI incident over the season. And I couldn't tell you the amount of times I've been at the game and there's people yelling, "Oh, La Russa's drunk. What the hell is he doing?" It's all good comedy.
And the guy who's yelling, it's probably hammered out of his mind, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, like, if we were going to get rid of everyone affiliated with the White Sox who's had a DUI or gotten drunk and done something stupid, that full capacity wouldn't mean a whole hell of a lot come June 25th, because you had about a quarter of the stadium filled. That's just, I mean, granted, was it dumb? Yeah, it's really dumb. I mean, the guy, it's not like that dude doesn't have money to have a driver, much less an Uber, right?
Absolutely.
And I know at the time, I know there were Uber issues, so that might have played into it. But dude, you got to have money to have something going on where you're like, I'm not driving. Just luckily for him, nothing worse. He didn't hit somebody, that kind of thing, right?
Right.
So anyways, the Cubs, they're going to finish up with the Cardinals this weekend. And the Cubs right now, I don't know how the hell this happened. Milwaukee's tied for the division lead. What the hell happened there? Milwaukee's tied. I still don't believe that they have the staying power. I still think it's a 2-team race. By the end of the season, you're going to be looking at the Cubs and Cardinals. I know the Cardinals are 4 games out. This is why it's going to be a big next couple of days, because they don't want to fall 6 games behind the Cubs. So you've got a huge matchup today. And with everything that's going on with that bullpen and Jack Flaherty being on the IL, this is a make or break moment for John Gant. He's got to have a good start, because I believe Hendricks is going to pitch well.
Oh yeah.
And if they have to look, Gant's got a 2.63 ERA, which you like, right? But we've also looked at the metrics with that through all my dealings with fantasy baseball. And John Gant has a hard hit rate that's through the roof. He also has a high whip, which is, for people who don't play fantasy or know analytics, walks plus hits divided by innings pitched. What it means is he's always got guys on base. He was dancing through the raindrops at the beginning of the season, but his last time out, he got absolutely hammered, and he's got to turn that around, because the Cardinals need this W bigger than anything, and the Cubs would love to just stomp on them and just end them.
More importantly, their Sunday game, Carlos Martinez is pitching.
He's
Carlos
just terrible.
He hasn't been a starter in about 5 years, so I don't know what the hell the Cardinals are looking at. But
Gant gave 7 earned runs in 4 innings against the Reds.
Wow.
And that game wasn't in Cincinnati, which, the Great American Small Park, right? That thing was in St. Louis. I watched a bit of that game. Because I streamed him in fantasy. I was like, okay, we'll see what you got. I was like, what do I do over here? I got rid of him real damn quick. And yeah, Carlos Martinez, that guy is 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, because just about the time you think that he is going to be able to do something and turn it around, Carlos Martinez usually gets hammered. He's got a 6.21 ERA. And at this point, you are what your stats say you are. We're well over of a third into the season. Got about 100 games left. So we played about 60, depending on the team. This stat line: 2 1/3 and 10 earned runs last time out.
Ooh.
Oh, get it off me. Oh.
The funny thing is that game, the Cubs haven't announced a pitcher. I wouldn't be the least bit worried about it if I was the Cubs, because I know whoever I throw out there is arguably going to be better than whatever Carlos Martinez is bringing to the table.
Anybody would be better than that guy.
Yeah.
He has been terrible. Oh, I'm sorry. That was 2 starts. Last start, this isn't much better. 4 innings, 5 earned runs against Cleveland. He's got 15 earned runs in the last 2 starts and didn't even pitch enough innings combined to qualify for a win had he been leading.
Yikes. That's all
4 2/3, 15 earned runs. What the hell? That guy's not in my lineup. I'm with you. Like they had him in the bullpen. I don't know what the hell happened with that. They came out this year and they're like, "Oh, we're going to put him back in the starting lineup. We're going to really get after it." Like, dude, if you can get that guy to figure out the bullpen again, you definitely need bullpen help. I'm expecting St. Louis to make some kind of a move in the near future for a starting pitcher and slide him into the bullpen.
I could see that.
You can't keep sending that guy out there. But like I said, he's false hope because people get excited because when was that game? It wasn't too long ago that he pitched really that's longer ago than I thought it was, about a month ago. He was at Pittsburgh Pirates. 8 innings, no earned runs. And that's why everyone went bananas and said, hey, look how he's turning around. After that. Oh, and right before that, he played the Phillies in St. Louis, 7 innings, 1 earned run. Before that, at Washington, 6 innings, 1 earned run. So he had 3 consecutive, not just quality starts, outstanding starts. Okay. After that, the Martinez thing looks like this: 5 innings, 5 earned runs, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. So that's that false hope again. And he did against the Cubs. It's probably why he's getting a chance to start tomorrow. And then you get 3 earned runs and 6 innings out in Arizona. Like, okay, that's not bad. That's decent. And then the last 2 outings I just talked about. But he's got in his 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so he's at 11 starts this year. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of this. So half of his starts, he's given up 4 earned runs or more.
Yikes.
Yeah. That's a disaster. That's an absolute disaster.
I'd be Mike Schultz. How do you justify putting that guy in your rotation right now?
I don't know. And it's funny because I play guys in fantasy who still have him on team. Like, how do you justify having him on your roster right now? I'd rather have an extra reliever than have this bozo go out there.
I agree with you there.
And he's going to be in Chicago tomorrow night. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. No.
Might be a real windy night in Chicago tomorrow. Who knows?
I hope he goes out there with some kind of a neck brace because he's going to get whiplash looking at every pitch he throws. All right, let's go ahead and start playing Pepper so we can get on out of here. Okay, here we go. All right, playing Pepper. We do this every show to end the neighborhood play. White Sox and Cubs. We're here every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central on YouTube Live. And then we also record the show and post it shortly after. So if you miss it. Okay. Your life is on the line. Okay. Who do you want at bat for you for the Chicago White Sox? You grab one White Sox player. Now, I got to have a base hit. Life is on the line. We'll say bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, World Series, and you can pick one White Sox to put up there to get a base hit in a game that means it all. Where are you going?
I think the most obvious answer for me, 2 names came to mind, but the most obvious answer has to be Jose Abreu. He just happens to always find himself in these clutch situations, whether it's at the plate or at first base, and he always provides. As a reigning MVP, it's hard to stray away from him, but if I had to take a close second, it'd probably be Tim Anderson, if not Nick Madrigal before his injury.
You're not going to believe this. I'm in a fantasy league yesterday, so June 11th. I picked up Tim Anderson.
You're kidding.
No, this idiot dropped him.
That is, I would say idiot is a very good choice of words for that person.
And I don't have a lot of room on my roster for hitters because it's points, it's point based. So it helps you to have a lot of pitchers because you can stream them in and out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I had to take on another hitter. I was like, I've watched him. I sit there out there for at least a week or 2.
Wow.
And I was like, what's his name from the Red Sox? Bogarts got scratched from the start. And I was looking around. I was like, I've got to pick him up. This is ridiculous at this point. Why the hell hasn't anyone picked his ass up? It's unbelievable. So now I've got Bogarts and Tim Anderson. And I got to figure out how to way to get them in the lineup every week. Because this is the same league where I picked up Abreu like a month ago. The same guy. Because I looked up, I was like, who keeps dropping these players? Because he's panicking, his team's sucking, and he's panicking and streaming pitchers. And I guess he just loaded at hitting. I guess he went all hitting when he drafted, so he has like way too many hitters on his bench. So he's just, but okay, he does that. But I'm like, why isn't someone picked him up? Because he's definitely one of the top 8 shortstops in the league.
Absolutely. And I mean,
and this is an 8-man league, is my point. So what shortstop do you have on your roster that you think Tim Anderson can? Because I have Bogarts, okay? You can argue that one. But who are these other guys, right? What the hell are they doing? It's unbelievable. I think I would probably go Tim Anderson, but I get what you're saying about Abreu. If I'm going Cubs, I know guys have had better years. I still think I'm going with Rizzo. And I know that Bryant's been the one that's been a hot. What say you? Who is the Chicago Cub you would put on there?
It's gonna sound crazy, but I think I'd have to go with this Wisdom guy. I don't know if his name is Patrick Wisdom, I think his name might be.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just playing unreal right now. It's their Yerminator story that's ongoing right now. So with as hot as he's swinging
so your life's on the line. You're putting Patrick Wisdom out there. You're a Cubs fan?
For the past 2 weeks, I'm going with Wisdom right now.
Is this because you're a White Sox fan and you secretly don't want the Cubs to succeed, and you're like,
that might have something to do with it. If I was really spiteful, I would have said Jason Hayward. Then it would have been clear on them to win.
Then I know the fix is in.
Yeah.
Question. I had this written down. I was hoping Joe would be here too. But let's say the White Sox get knocked out of the ALCS, so it's still raw and you're mad. They go to the World Series and you got the Cubs made it from the NL, and it's Cubs and whoever knocks out the White Sox. We'll just pick a team that doesn't have a lot of hate fan base. So we'll say the Oakland A's. Okay. It's A's Cubs in the World Series. Are you pulling for the Cubs because of Chicago, or you're like, I can't pull for the South, North side?
You know, I faced this same situation in 2016, and I didn't root for the Cubs. I was probably one of the few people cheering for the Indians, and at the bar I was at, and that didn't work out too well for me. This time around, I don't know. The inner Southsider in me says I just can't root for the Cubs.
I can respect that. I can respect that more than a fan says, "Oh, I just want everyone to do well." You know, those are the ones you want to punch in the face, right? You're like, I just have to have a good time. But no, I mean, I get that. It's like with college football down here, and people just don't get it where I've moved to other places and lived elsewhere, and they say, "Hey, University of Florida's doing well. You should be happy, right?" I go, "No, I'm not happy. I'm a Florida State fan." Like,
right.
Yeah, but from the same state. Like that's one of the reasons why I don't like them, because we're brothers. We're like on each other all the time, right? So yeah, I mean I get it, and I always wonder about this with fans, especially in professional sports. College, I don't even have to ask. Auburn fans not pulling for Alabama and vice versa, right? But in the pros, you do get fans that are, I pull for the Jets and the Giants. I pull for the Yankees and the Mets. And I'm always like, how could you do that? Wouldn't you grow up in a city that one was, they're both there. You've got fans all across the board. I feel like you have to not be from that area to be able to pull that off.
I just could never see myself saying that I'm a fan of a city and all teams that lie in it. If you take a lead to a team, you stick with it, you know?
Yeah, I don't understand it, but there are people that are out there, and we've never talked about this. I've always wondered. I wonder throughout the week. I was like, I wonder if Christian pulls for the Cubs or not, because I'm not sure if Joey pulls for the White Sox. I don't believe he does, but I don't think we've ever had that conversation.
Don't let Joey fool you. He's a closet Sox fan in the making.
Fair enough. What's your walk-off for the day?
Well, my walk-off for the day is going to be, I'm really excited for this Tampa Bay series, but more importantly, I have tickets for Friday and Saturday to opening day round 2, as we like to call it. And even though it's against the Mariners, I'm hoping that the White Sox just put an ass whooping on them, because what better way to fill a stadium and light the crowd up than that, right?
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. Are you going to try to make it to any of the Tampa games this week?
I probably won't, because I'll still be out of town for work, but my plan is to be back. But I was going to ask you, is Turner Field full capacity yet? Or
Oh yeah. It's been full capacity since about mid-April.
Oh boy, so we're late to the draw by a long shot.
Oh yeah, yeah. We do it different in the South, man.
That is no.
It's like the comedian that I saw the other day. I don't remember what state he was talking about, and it might have been a northern state, but I thought it was funny because it sounded just like something I would hear here in Florida. There was a guy sitting there telling the story of the reason why he was really starting to like the city was the fact that he was in a grocery store or whatever, and the guy didn't have a mask on, and this lady confronts him and says, "Where's your mask?" He says, "COVID's over. Get a new cause," and walked off. You kept us on lockdown for, you said 2 weeks, and it turned into well over a year. Okay. And even before all the vaccines came out, Florida only stayed locked down for like maybe a month. Okay. They opened up, and all summer last year, you could go out, but there were restrictions, right? And then it pretty much opened up whenever they first came out with the first round of the shots. The governor opened it up, and he basically, because he made sure he went out and got a bunch of vaccines for the older population. I believe they were the first one to say, if you were above this age, you get to stand in line first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once that started, like January, all the restrictions essentially were gone. You haven't had to wear a mask unless the business wants you to wear a mask in well over a month, or almost 2 months, I believe. So yeah, I want to say it was right around, it wasn't too long after opening day that and so Atlanta started off with 33% capacity when everyone else was empty, and then they went to 50, and then whatever their third round at home, they went 100%.
Nice.
And it's man, you're just gonna love not just being there, but you're gonna love seeing it on TV. Thank God. Now with all that being said, Florida's been wide open, right? They've actually had 100% capacity this entire season, because they started it back before the season started. They let what was it, 50 or 60% capacity for the Super Bowl in Tampa?
I don't recall.
But it still doesn't do us any good, because no one goes to Tampa Bay Ray or Miami Marlins games. They're still empty. It's ridiculous. And they need to. I'm done defending the Rays. They need to move the damn team. They need to move. They should have moved the Marlins years ago. They never should have built that new stadium.
I'd agree with you on that.
The Marlins are pathetic. I think you could save the Rays if you moved them to Orlando.
I could see that.
But that's it. Because if you sit Orlando, it's in the middle of the state of Florida. All the major cities can get there within less than 2 hours. Then you're talking about something, and they're going to go there for Disney World and other things anyways, right? And exactly. The guy that owned the Dolphins years ago, Huizenga, that ended up selling him, but he made like a lot of his money in Blockbuster. It's been that long ago. He said back then there was only one city that was ever going to completely support a baseball team in the state of Florida, and it was Orlando. He had owned the Marlins for about 5 years at this point. Miami just will not. It's not a sports town. They'll go to the Dolphins if they're doing well, and if the Heat are doing well, because it's kind of like an LA Laker type of feel, they'll support the Heat, but realistically just in the playoffs. But other than that, it's not a sports town. The Hurricanes can't get anyone to come to their games. It's ridiculous.
I'm not the least bit surprised by that. When it's sunny and 85 all year round, what the hell's the reason to stay indoors, right?
And you have so many people from all over the globe that move to Miami. These sports are not a part of their lives. They're just not, that's why when you go farther north into Florida and you get the diehard college football fans at Florida State and Gainesville, they support. And then you get the football fans like the Buccaneers and the Jaguars. When they're winning, they support. But this other, the Orlando Magic's a joke. Like, nobody goes to those games because no one in that area even cares about it. Baseball could make it. The Orlando Magic should move out too. I don't know where to, but they should just pack that. That team has been relevant since Dwight Howard,
which was quite some time ago.
Yeah, because he's playing now on crutches. Like, I mean, he's an old man. Anyways, I guess that about does it because we ran over time anyway. So let's get the hell out of here. Great job, Christian. We'll see you next week. And next week will be 1 week closer to 100% capacity. So,
yes, sir. Enjoy your weekend, Mac.
Yeah, you too. And sweep those damn Tigers because I want to give Sean hell.
You got it. All right.
We'll see y'all Monday morning on the Armchair Quarterbacks Live.